We're going to introduce you about the public class of the Java programming for the AP Computer Science. First, in this first page of the code set, we want to introduce you the public class, which is called card, and it has the two private variables. The first one is mySuit, it's of the type string. The second one is called myValue, which is integer, and the values is between 0 to 12. And the following is constructors. The constructor should be used as a public adjective and with input stream, which with input variable suits and also integer value. And here's the implementation. We just ignore that part because it might depend on how you implement it. The following three methods. The first one is for the get suit, because we have trying to declare that the mySuit is private, so we return mySuit. The third one is for the get value, and it returns with a value integer, because again the my value instead of the class is of private property, so that's why we return the private value. There is a last one, which is called the toString method. It returns a whole string. But what it does, it's a little bit more complicated one, because it converts the my values with, for example, it converted when the my value is equals to 11, it returns to the face value equals to j, and when it comes to that my value is equals to 12, it assigns the face value to q, and equals to, if my value is equals to 0, it assigns the value equals to k, and if my value is equals to 1, the face value is assigned as a. So that's conversions of the JQKA. And later on, after we do the conversions, if the value is between 2 and less than 10, then we just do as what it shows. Then later on, there is facility procedures that try to combine the face value with the suit value. So that's what the card class do. In the second page, we're going to introduce you a class which is called DAG. What is the class DAG? It's a private array of type card, or myDAG. And inside of this class, besides this private array of card, there are also three different public variables or methods. The first one is the final static one, which is a constant called num_cards equals to 52, which is represented the number of cards. And the second one is the constructor. Apparently it should be public. The third one is the shuffle method. Apparently it should also be public. And what this shuffle do is, like what our intuitive tell us, is a simulate shuffling the deck. Okay, so let's look at the following three questions. Question 3 shows that which of the following represents correct codes for the constructors in the card classes. So we know that all those private class variables of the class is called, one is called mySuit, the other is called value. Right? So which means we need some assignment of the value of mySuit and also assignment of the value to myValue. So that's why we apparently can choose it very quickly, because the first choice is A, is what we need. The second choice is the reverse one, because suit and also value are input parameters. They cannot be assigned with some existing variables of classes which has not been assigned. The third one, the choice C and the choice D, they are initialized the constructor. But in these questions, we are trying to represent a way of the implementation of the constructor. So we cannot just directly call the constructor. So C and D is apparently wrong. E is by calling getSuit and getValue, which also assumes that there must be some value that has been assigned for the variable suit and also the variable value, which is impossible because constructor is the first method that has to be initialized for the class. So which means that unless the pseudo value has some default value inside of the class, which is apparently not from our case, otherwise we cannot just directly call get method. Okay, so this is question 3 related to those two classes, the deck and also cards. Now let's see question 4. Consider this description of the deck constructor. The deck object will be constructed as follows: is that my deck 0 until my deck 12 will contain the spacesuit, and my deck 13 to my deck 25 will contain the heart suit. My deck 26 to my deck 38 will contain the diamond suit. My deck 39 to my deck 51 will contain the club suit. So each suit, the card values range from 0 to 12, and these are converted to actual card values in the two-stream method of the card class. So here is the constructors for the deck class. Let's see, it's just a briefly iteration with the indicators integer, which we assume is a variable I, starting from 0 until it reaches the number of cards, which from our previous memory, we remember it was 52. So it just scans through the old cards and try to insert the cards with its suit and also its values. Now let's see what's the question. So which of the following is the correct replacement for the segments inside of that for loop running through from 0 to 52 so that the specifications for the my deck array is satisfied? Okay, let's take a look around for A, B, C, D, E. A lot of divisions and also comparisons. Okay. Okay, let's see. Choice A and choice C are very similar. The only difference between choice A and choice C is the first one, choice A says my deck of I divided by 13. Choice C specifies my deck of I. So since we want to assign all the suits and also all the values to the cards, so definitely choice A with the index I divided by 13 will be invalid because between the first, when I becomes 0 between 0 to 12, it will be assigned to the same array of my deck, so it will override the previously 12 times of assignment, so A is incorrect. And C should be correct because if I divided by 13 is equals to 1, then we just assign my deck I equals to the new card's hearts. Because from our description, the my deck index 13 to my deck index 25 is of heart suit. So we initialize with the constructors with the suit hearts and with the value I mode 13 because it's starting between 13 to 25, and the value should be mode 12. That would be my deck 1. My deck 13 to my deck 25 will be initial with the values of hearts between 0 to 12. So that's why we choose C. Looks like the choice D also have a similar one, but C, the difference is, and the error part is that I divided by 13. That's incorrect. So it should not be like that. Now let's take a look around of question 5. Consider the implementations of the right deck methods that is added to the deck class. So we have a very brief constructor called right deck. And let's see which of the following is correct implementation code. First one is the system that out that print ln my deck. The second one is a for loop which scans through all the cards of the array cards which is belongs to the array my deck, and we use the system out that print ln card. The third one is we add some additional casting of each card of this big array my deck of all the variable of type capital card. Because although we know that there is a two-stream method defined for each class of card, but we cannot just directly concase it. I think we might have to code the two-stream. But on the other hand, choice 2 is correct because we might be able to depend on the system default print-up messages for printing out the basic information represented by the whole class. So for this question, the answer should be B, that is a 2 only. Okay, thanks for listening.